Story. Now, Trump has reposted Prime Minister's post on Truth Social. For more on this, I'm now joined by CNN News 18 Siddhant Mishra. Siddhant, we saw a change in the tenor as far as the US President Donald Trump is concerned. We saw a response coming in from Prime Minister as well, a very friendly response, and now Trump has reposted it.
Right, Sharon. So this could be seen as a restart of the relationship. In fact, last time President Trump said good things about Prime Minister Modi, and perhaps Prime Minister Modi very quickly responded to that to those comments of President Trump. Now, this is again the fourth time direct contact between the two leaders, Sharon, where first President Trump writes on Truth Social, post on Truth Social, and then Prime Minister Modi again responded, saying that I'm confident that our trade negotiations will pave the way. Now President Trump has in fact reposted the same post of Prime Minister Modi on Truth Social. So perhaps it shows his commitment to restart this relationship. Also, Sharon, very important to highlight that since his administration has been blaming India for fueling the war in Russia, but in last 1 month, the kind of proactive role which India has shown, perhaps India has always been very proactive and constructive when it comes to ending war in Ukraine. But what the kind of efforts India has made in last 1 month, perhaps could be one of the reasons that this resetting is happening, because Prime Minister Modi spoke to President Putin, then Prime Minister Modi did brief the European leaders as well. Prime Minister Modi is also in touch with President Zelensky, and perhaps that is something which definitely Trump administration must have taken a note of, that this entire narrative that India is fueling the war, India is profiteering, etc., is not correct. The fact is that India is ready to pursue peace. India has always been pursuing peace in Europe. So that could also be one of the reasons that, this resetting of ties is taking place. Also very important, Sharon, that there was a lot of pressure on President Trump from the strategic community, think tankers, that India will drift towards China if the US will adopt such a policy as far as tariff is concerned. So, so that is the biggest fear as far as think tankers and strategic experts in DC are concerned. They want India to be with them. They don't want India to be going to the other side or go with China. So that could also be one of the reasons. In fact, the other day he said that we have lost India. Then he said that we have not lost India. India-US ties are very much intact, etc., etc. So all these things have definitely made him realize that how important this partnership is and how important India is for the United States as far as this region of Indo-Pacific is concerned. Perhaps there are a lot of things in continuity, and it was President Trump in his first tenure, perhaps, who gave a lot of emphasis to Quad, Sharon. So it's not that he is not interested in the region, his administration not interested in the region, or they don't want Quad to happen. They definitely want Quad to happen. In fact, TMS Jaishankar went to DC in June, perhaps for the Quad foreign ministers meeting. So there are a lot of aspects to this resetting of ties. And perhaps since this is happening, so there could also be the meeting between the two leaders in Malaysia, because President Trump is traveling and Prime Minister Modi travels for the ASEAN summit every year. So far, Prime Minister Modi's schedule has not been announced, but there's in all likelihood he will travel. So if he travels, perhaps that would be the last opportunity for both the leaders to meet this year, because after which in G20, President Trump is not traveling to Johannesburg. So
all right. Siddhant, I request you to please stay with us. I'll just come back to you in a bit. I'm now joined by former diplomat Mr. Anil Tirugnayat on this broadcast. Many thanks, Mr. Anil, for joining with us.
Thank you.
Your first response to what Donald Trump has in fact posted. In a way, he is saying that we are going to have a renegotiation, we're going to have a retalk as far as the trade deal is concerned. Clearly, there has been pressure on him, local and domestic pressure that in fact forced him to come back to the table.
I think so, yes, you're right. And also I think that India's strategic patience has paid off. That is very important, because we did not indulge in the kind of things that were happening or coming from the White House. And he has understood that India has significant other options as well. And so therefore, I think internally also there has been assessment, and I have always maintained that they will come around. So this browbeating in the beginning has been there and it will continue to be there. I mean, we should not think that such statements won't come out because that's his nature, keeping things unpredictable. But at the same time, the good sign is that both leaders have understood each other's limitations, I hope, and to the extent that we attach importance to the relationship, India-US relationship. And I always maintain that trade in goods is simply one of the verticals. And there are other areas which are far more significant than this.
All right. Many thanks, Mr. Anil, for sharing your perspective. Now, let me go back to my colleague Pallavi Ghosh on this. Pallavi, the re-negotiation, of course, is back on table. But at the same time, the unpredictability of Donald Trump, could that actually make the Indian side a bit wary?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You're absolutely bang on, Shireen. Anyone I speak to in the government and especially in the Commerce Ministry, they said, we don't know what the morning brings. Because he says one thing during the day, something else in the night, and again something else in the morning, which is why we are treating very, very carefully and not jumping in, as Mr. Anil was also pointing out, to respond to everything that Donald Trump says. I mean, today he's given a very positive signal that he does want to begin the renegotiations, but we don't know what happens and what kind of a statement that he makes tomorrow, which is why some of our items are non-negotiable. And I'm not just talking about, say, the agro sector or the labor-intensive products. I'm also talking about, for example, the Russian oil. I think the finance minister, the government, all of them, the oil minister have made it clear, we are going to purchase oil from where we want. We are going to see the interest of the consumers. And, we are not going to buckle any kind of blackmail or pressure. And that is essentially going to be our stand. We are apprehensive, we are wary, we are optimistic, but at the same time, we'll do what is best for our country.
Absolutely. And also, Pallavi, like you also been pointing out that as far as certain sections, certain products are concerned, those are, non-negotiable. No matter what, we are not going to compromise on them. But now on the second round of talks between India and US, what are the areas where we could actually have some sort of a compromise with the United States?
See, if America is going to insist that stop buying oil from Russia, that is not going to be on the renegotiation list. If I'm going to go back to the agenda of 25th August, when the negotiators were expected to come, what they did want is a little bit more of the opening of the access of the Indian markets to American products. Till now, it was limited to, say, apples, some of the varieties of dry fruits, a particular variety of wheat, rice as well. They want more and more variety of that. So what we are being told is that when we renegotiate, we may allow that window to be given to America. Maybe some more variety of fruits will be allowed. There's also going to be more variety of rice, wheat, some variety of millets may also be allowed. So essentially, that is going to be the benchmark. But however, the nitty-gritty or the relooking of or the revision of the agenda is something which I think the government will be chalking out. Again, we are watching the situation very, very carefully.
And also, Pallavi, when can we expect the delegation to come? Is there an actual date that has been given by the US side that by this time the delegation will be arriving and we can start the renegotiation over the trade talks?
Then it's very important to understand that all along the Commerce Ministry had been making it very clear that when the 25th August negotiators did not come, it was not cancelled, it was postponed, which means the window and the door was always left open. So even now, that's what they're saying. And the reason why they're not giving a date yet is simply because they don't know what Donald Trump says again tomorrow. So I think we're going to wait for that phone call or any kind of a communication which happens between the American president and our prime minister. And that is when the date will be fixed. What we are still being told is by possibly the end of September is when we can expect the American negotiators to arrive.
And also, let's talk about, Pallavi, the domestic politics over the trade talk. We have been seeing time and again the opposition parties questioning the unpredictability of Donald Trump and also questioning the government over not being able to, come to the end of this particular trade talk between India and US.
Well, I mean, failed foreign policy, that's been one huge barb which has come in from the Congress party consistently, expressing concern over the small traders, the businessmen, and of course the people who will actually have to face the brunt of a high tariff. Yes, you are right, Shireen. We've all been privy to the amount of attacks coming in on the government. The government has consistently meant that, we may have been good friends with America, but, at the end of the day, it's the Indian interest first.
Absolutely. Many thanks, Pallavi, for getting us all those details. But I request you to please stay with us. We are getting another breaking input as far as the vice presidential